Hello, welcome to Real News Live. How you guys doing tonight? Hello. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Tia. Hi, Timothy. Hi, Hank. Hi, Matt. Hi, Karen. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Brian. Hi, William. Hi, Bill. Hi, Doherty. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Berenger. Sorry. Hi, Joe. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Sherry. How you guys doing tonight? Yep, we got a lot going on. I'm sorry I didn't come by live last night. A lot going on. Inflation, of course, going out of control amongst that. Biden administration, what they're going to do with the war. Stealth Omicron, North Korea. Lots of stuff happening out there. Hi, Christine. How you doing? Hi, Elizabeth. How you guys doing tonight? Please share the stream out if you guys are in here. And please hit that thumbs up button. It definitely helps. First, we're going to start off with North Korea, and it's claimed it can hit the U.S. with missiles after a month of increased testing. Wow, this could be very, very damaging to the U.S. North Korea foreign minister accuses other countries of blind obedience to America, of course. North Korea on Tuesday touted that the missile capability, including a missile that claimed could strike the U.S. and shake the world. In today's world, there are many countries waste time dealing with the U.S. with submission and blind obedience. The only other country on this planet that can shake the world by firing a missile at the U.S. mainland and its range, stated by foreign minister, said there were more than 200 countries in the world, but only a few have hydrogen bombs and intercontinental ballistic missiles and hypersonic missiles, North Korea being one of them. This is crazy. Yes, we have missiles that can hit them. That's not a correct question. But the propaganda that they're pushing out now, that they've created the Hwasong 15, of course, that is a vital weapon in the arsenal, and it supposedly is a country's longest range intercontinental ballistic missile. And it's believed to have the range to strike the U.S. territories. Yeah, free crack pipes, that's ridiculous. That's Biden for you right there. But it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous hearing about this. This marks a significant, or of course, January marked a significant increase in testing as Bungie launched 7 missiles the first month of the year, more than it tested during all of last year. Those tests include hypersonic glided vehicles and intermediate range ballistic missiles. Only China and Russia have otherwise completed supposed test on hypersonic glide vehicles, which proved difficult for U.S. current systems to track after launch due to the heightened maneuverability in low altitudes. Yeah, Biden's new business is free crack pipe for everybody. That's what he's doing right now. This is scary, though, because right now we don't just have China. We don't just have Russia, which those are 2 major fronts right now. We have now North Korea jumping in the game. Yeah. Soon nukes to Iran. And here's the thing. The non-nuclear treaty is going to... Well, Iran wants to sign another treaty to get more money in their pockets. That's all they want. Really, their whole idea of bringing the treaty back to the table is the U.S. gives them money to get back to the table to negotiate, and they get money for it. Jen said that's misunderstood. Okay. They're going to give needles to drug addicts. It's the same thing as handing crack to crack addicts, or handing crack pipes to crack addicts. Same freaking thing to me. I'll say that about the freaking crack pipes. Let's be honest. Yeah. And the Olympic athletes. When have we ever seen an Olympic stage for ski jumping with smokestacks in the background of factory property? It's ridiculous. Biden doesn't want to know what's happening. Exactly. And what happens to our troops in Ukraine if Russia does invade? Biden, if you may recall, spent a lot of time as vice president meddling in international affairs of Ukraine. And you may wonder why Ukraine says it opposed to, say, Denmark and Sergei or any other worlds of the 195 countries, simply because Ukrainians were paid by Joe Biden's family millions of dollars in exchange for work that he did. They were paid by Ukraine. And as a president, you may have noticed Biden continues to represent Ukrainian interests. Most recently, despite their dispute with Russia, Biden talks consistently of all the scary things he'll do if in battling Vladimir Putin dares to offend the territory's sovereignty of Biden's closest friends and the Ukrainians. But one thing Joe Biden will not do, he has assured repeatedly, is send American troops to Ukraine. And the polls show Americans do not want at all for Biden to send troops to Ukraine. But that's not the only story. There's already over 150 American troops in Ukraine right now. As far as we know, the force has more than doubled in recent days. And it continues to get bigger, the force of American troops inside of Ukraine. Of course, the Biden administration firms up its plans to get Americans out of Ukraine if Russia invades. Soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division are being called in to support Americans fleeing the country. This is breaking news. This happened this afternoon. Americans who need help getting out of Ukraine if Russia invades could be brought through Poland, receive support from the U.S. troops. A senior defense official said U.S. officials said today. If U.S. troops are needed to support the evacuation, soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division would be called in to set up checkpoints or medical screenings and administration process of leaving and providing logistical support as well. Oh wait, we're not going into Africa. I thought we weren't going in. That's what he just stated in his last article. But providing any necessary medical aid and care for people in Poland, officials said. Members of the 82nd Airborne are not ordered to go into Ukraine to evacuate anyone at this point, but Pentagon officials have indicated using them for such operations if is possible, if needed. So, are we going in? Are we not going in? Are we going to send troops into a foreign country again that we have no ties to? That's a big question. When does America need to step back and say, hey, there's a problem? There's a huge, huge problem. We're stepping in, we're putting money into a territory we don't belong in. We shouldn't have money in the first place. And it's not protecting us as a country in any ways. Of course, troops are being repositioned all around the border of Ukraine into Romania and several other countries that border with Russia. U.S. and allies have been sounding the alarm for weeks over Russia's amass of 130,000 troops near Ukraine's border, issuing a set of demands related to NATO expansion that Putin said West nations have largely dismissed. Moscow repeatedly denied that it has any plans to attack Ukraine. And of course, it told that to other Morocco's leader. And then right away, it's not showing any sign of backing down. Instead, they're increasing troops. Russia's increasing troops on that border. But as amassed over 70% of the forces it would require to launch a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a U.S. official with direct knowledge of the assessment said last week. Were that to happen, Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, would most likely be captured in the early days of the invasion, possibly within the first 48 hours. And this is what's important, is within the first 48 hours, that's where a lot of our people are, is in Kyiv. We have probably over 6,000 people there. The rate at which troops and equipment could arrive at the border means Russia may have full capability to invade by the 15th of February, when the ground is expected to be optimally frozen for tracked vehicles moving through the end of March. It's unclear how the government arrived at this estimate, and it did not see. We have not seen any supporting documents, but this is what they've said so far. Secretary Blinken, of course, Secretary of State Blinken, said Monday the U.S. does not believe Putin made a decision about whether to invade Ukraine, but he has the capability to do so if he decides to act. Of course, I don't trust Blinken at all anyways. Meanwhile, on the Taiwan front, the U.S. approved the sale of $100 million in U.S. missile defense to Taiwan. This is going on the other side of the world. U.S. approved the sale to Taiwan of military equipment, services, and including engineering services to support Patriot missile defense systems for an estimated cost of $100 million. A statement released by the Defense Department. The Taipei Economy and Culture Representative Office of the United States has requested to buy the equipment and services support and its participation in the International Engineering Service Program and Field Surveillance Program for 5 years, which are designed to sustain, maintain, and improve the defense system. The Defense Secretary, of course, said they have delivered the required certification notifying Congress of the possible sale. So it's one thing after another. I mean, if we're not fighting in a front with Ukraine and Russia, we're jumping in with what's going on with China and Taiwan. I mean, at what point do we say we can't fight both? We can't fight both battles. It won't happen. Yeah. We can't afford to fight battle on both ends, and we can't even afford to fight a battle at all right now, the United States. As the economy is going out of control, of course, consumer inflations are expected to rise by 7.2%, the highest since 1982. It is ridiculous. If you've been to the grocery store lately, you know. Economists are expecting another hot inflation report. It's that. The core of inflation, excluding food and energy, is expected to rise 0.4% in January, or that's like nothing. So they're excluding food in this rise of inflation to make it look like it's not so bad. Let's not count the food inflation cost and fuel inflation costs, because those are what every American needs to survive. Those inflation costs are no longer being counted, because accounting for them would make it look like inflation was over 15%. With inflation's all with inflation's high as they are, has everything jacked. The cost of food, gas, cars, rent, and there's little relief in sight. As people face these, of course, ridiculous pricing, everybody should be worried and everybody should be prepared. Hi, Billy. How you doing tonight? Hi, you guys. If I didn't say hi to you, hello. But it's crazy. Federal Reserve hikes, of course, would right now destroy the economy, taking the government jobs from 109,000 jobs to 467 if payrolls were to be added. Right now, we can't afford to stop inflation. Yeah. They cut all food products with numbers right away. I bought lobster tail, $52 a pound. Oh my goodness, Billy. I would not pay that much for lobster tail anywhere. And I like lobster. But we're jumping into war with Ukraine and Russia, or Russia and China like nothing. Meanwhile, in the U.S., we can't even afford to buy food. There's a serious problem here. When you can't afford to buy food in your own home country. Yeah, 130,000 troops at the border now. But as the prices go up for cars and other things, electronics are looking to be the biggest supply chain issue coming in the near future, along with other goods being shorted. But things like rent matter to people, and medical bills are going up. And not counting that stuff is just ridiculous. Lava was just cockroach of the sea. I'll take shark any day. Well, sharks are just the garbage cleaners of the sea, so it's ridiculous. Though consumer inflation is at all-time high. The Feds can't even raise the interest rates because if they do, it's going to tank the market big time. It's going to tank everything, and food costs are still going to go up. But people's costs of credit card bills are going to go up. People's costs of housing are going to go up. People's costs of electricity are going to go up. So the basic goods, fuel, housing, and food are going to go up. Those prices go up, it impacts Americans even more by raising the federal rate. But without raising the federal rate, those prices are still going to climb because they're out of control anyways. We're in a point of inflation that I don't think there's any good means to an end. I don't think there's any good means to an end for us now. We let inflation go too far. We printed too much fake money, and now we're having to deal with it. Yeah. Right. It's getting scary out there, that's for sure. Stock market's going up because they know the Feds can't raise the rates right now. With consumer inflation the way it is, and what'll happen if the rates get raised. People right now in America are on credit card debt because they can't afford prices as they are. Crypto's going to be back on the rise. Stock market's going to be back on the rise. It's going to happen. I trade crypto daily, and it's a great way to make money. But it's a temporary. It's a temporary thing. It's a very temporary thing if we look at it. Of course, if we look at what's happening in Ottawa, now towing companies are refusing to tow the truckers, protesting vaccine mandates in city streets, as the border is still closed on that greatest transport of goods between any two countries. It's crazy. Yeah. Thieves are getting busted left and right these days. It's crazy out there what's happening. Of course, if you can afford to donate to the channel, please do. We are trying to raise money for Easter. We have not been very successful so far, and we understand that people are having hard times right now. But as we face these threats ahead, of course, and what's happening in America, we have to stand together and look out for each other. That's the problem is people right now aren't going or aren't restricting their means, and they're getting credit cards and they're filling them up. When these credit rates go up, but when the feds do just finally raise rates, if they raise rates 7 times like they plan on doing this year, credit card rates will be through the roof. You'll be paying nothing but your interest, and you probably won't be able to afford that. Of course, WHO experts today announced that Omicron or stealth Omicron variant found in 67 countries will become dominant. It's a subvariant of Omicron variant. It's spreading rapidly through Europe and Asia and could become the dominant variant. The so-called stealth Omicron BA2 has been found in 67 countries so far. And I'm sure it's going to be seen here. And it's taking place. I mean, it's taking hold in Denmark and UK and everywhere else. It's just a point of when it's going to happen. And yeah, it's not that serious. But the problem is the amount of people that get sick is more people out of work in America, causing more debt issues, more delays, and of course, yeah, they're trying to get the trucker protest started next weekend, Friday. So we're gonna see if we can get that going. But it's another thing we're trying to raise money for, and ain't having any luck that side either. It's crazy though. It is crazy. Yeah, that's all they can do is stop them from hunting. GoFundMe is ridiculous. Don't try to use GoFundMe if you're going to be donating. Donate to a reputable source. There's people collecting directly for them, and we will have ours up probably mid next week for the truckers, for here in the U.S. once we get started. But we are raising money right now for Easter, and we got to raise money for the truckers. We got to help them out as much as possible because that's what we do here on this channel. We don't raise money for ourselves. We raise money for people in need and for, of course, everything happening out there. Boycott GoFundMe for sure. If you're gonna use a service like GoFundMe, if you're a reputable charity, this is the thing. If you're a reputable charity, there's plenty of other companies. Like we use DonorBox. DonorBox works great for actual reputable charities. Most of them on there is official and licensed charities. They really try to set a difference. But Biden's ship is sinking. His approval rating is diving to uncharted territories. And it's being to the point where there might not be a recovery for the Biden administration. And this may be the beginning of the global supply chain collapse. It might be something we're seeing for a long time in the future. It might be something quick and easy to pass, but teetering on what can be seen as excitingly until something comes along and knocks you off the edge. Unfortunately, events of the past couple of years have perfectly set the stage for global economic collapse of unprecedented size and scope. Inflation is out of control all over the planet. The worst global supply chain crisis since World War II continues to get worse with each passing day. A vast majority of goods global populations is just barely scraping by month to month. In other words, we have never been more vulnerable than we are right now. If we enter war right now, we are beyond in trouble. I do not know yet if it contained classified documents or not, Billy. If when I actually get the actual true verification, because Don Lemon or CNN is not trustworthy to me, I will actually verify that. But this is crazy. Even the United States is having shockingly high percentage of its population literally lives on the brink of financial disaster. According to the new survey just released, 7 out of every 10 Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck or below that means. That means 3 out of every 10 people are at least having a little bit of room. That's ridiculous. 7 in 10 Americans can't afford their bills. It's sad. People are losing their homes. People are getting kicked out of their apartments. People are losing the ability to even supply food for their families. Social media networks have been swamped with photos of empty shelves from across the nation, closely followed by what's happening all around the world. It's been over 30 years since we've seen markets like this. 40 years. Ridiculous. Pork and chicken are up by 20%. Beef is up by 32%. Who can afford to buy groceries when you can't afford to pay your power bill? Can't afford to pay your rent? What happens when the job market starts drying up? Then the real devastation will start to happen. Yeah, the donated fuel they confiscated. Trudeau's been confiscating everything he can. But now tow truck drivers are refusing to tow the trucks, so that's having a whole other issue. Putin's super yacht abruptly left Germany, though. Made sanction warnings over Russian-Ukraine tensions today. Now, this is something I was waiting to see happen. Putin has quite a nice vessel there in Germany, and it's been in Germany for a long time. Audio's cutting in and out. I do not know why. But it's been in Germany for quite a long time, and that's where he's always kept it. But now that he's starting to move his assets out of the line of everything else, this is where Russia and Ukraine's tensions could get really heated. He's making sure to secure his assets outside of these foreign national countries. This only happened 6 hours ago when the yacht actually left Germany. Anytime now. All I could say is be ready for whatever happens. Be ready. Of course, Biden's administration is going to allow journalists to embed with military forces as they deploy to Europe. We don't have any journalists to go, but hopefully we will get in touch with a couple journalists that are there or going with them. So we get frontline stories of what's actually happening over there and when it happens. So we will be keeping in contact with people over there. Of course, we do pay for AP access, so we will have direct feeds anyways. Harris being put in charge of Ukraine, that means it's just going to end terribly, Linda. Harris in charge of anything just ends terribly, let's be honest. Prosecutors are still trying to find it through an endless search of more information. Am I vaccinated? No, I am not. I am not vaccinated. I will not be vaccinated. I am sorry. Not going to happen. Not to me. That's a personal choice, and I'm allowed to have that choice. I am a free citizen of the United States. I'm not owned by the government nor controlled by it. Everything happened at the Olympics between. Yeah, we're doomed. Well, great and good news today is DARPA officially flew a Black Hawk helicopter without a pilot for 30 minutes today. Oh, wait, DARPA didn't, an AI did. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but an AI flying a Black Hawk helicopter that can be fully armed. That's right, artificial intelligence flying a Black Hawk helicopter. Sounds a little bit scary to me. They're putting it through its paces. As another helicopter, of course, went down in U.S. Special Ops raid, and how elite aviators prepare for the worst case scenarios. I cannot talk about that on here, Matt, and I will do some research. I'll do a rumble about it, but I have been hearing about that today. You have an electric car. No, I do not have an electric car. I have an RV that burns gas. I have a vehicle that burns gas. I have a house that I keep the air set nice and cold. I don't know what else you want to tell you. You're asking a lot of questions, Demetrius. I guess you're a not okay with what sounds like a troll. That's what he thought. That's what I was thinking, but it's a crazy world we're living in. It is a crazy world. SpaceX says up to 40 of its new Starlink satellites will be falling out of orbit due to, of course, radiation. Why don't you have an electric car? Because why would I have an electric car? Electric cars have limited range and distance, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Electric cars to me are worthless. Sorry. When I go somewhere, I drive over 600 miles. Don't think it'll be appropriate for me to use an electric car. I don't mind people trolling. They could troll. I do not know where they actually flew a Black Hawk helicopter at Mackenzie. They did not say. They didn't give that information, of course. But it's ridiculous. AI is becoming more and more prevalent. I work on programming myself. You guys know that, and I'm working on a voice program that can take anybody's voice and articulate it back in any kind of speech or manner possible. I think it's pretty awesome. But I think there should be extreme limits to AI and what you can allow it to do and not allow it to do. I think getting into military service, AI should not Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think the convoy will be great here in the United States. Yep. I don't know what was doing that, but I definitely drove me crazy there for a second. You hear me now? That's a good thing. But it's important to realize like where AI should stop and start. Because AI could easily take over the world. I mean, think about it. If it has the ability to think by itself, the ability to learn by itself, eventually it will learn that people are inherently evil towards each other. We cannot deny that. You cannot deny that as a human being. I mean, human beings got to admit we're not even nice to each other. Well, AI itself, like, I'm not getting into that. The AI itself is scary. Westworld, yep. Once they become self-aware, forget it. That's the thing is an AI can never become self-aware. If it does, uh, that's what those batteries disappear and they don't come back. If you were in a video chat with me, yeah, I cannot answer the video chat. I am sorry. If I do, it will mess up my audio again. I'm sorry about that. AI is inevitable, but doing AI properly and safely is a big thing. And not everyone has the money. Demetrius, I don't know what you're doing here. Are you trying to make my people crazy? Are you trying to make my people crazy? Because I will block you from Facebook. He's gone. Yeah. It'll reconnect after the stream. Something's wrong with my mic. I got to fix that. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff going on. Yep. That's the problem, William, right there. That's the problem I have with AI right now. It's being done without any concern for human life because the military is the one proceeding over it. The military is training it to fly attack helicopters. The military uses it to fly certain drones now. And then this isn't going to end anytime soon. This will keep going into the future until the point where artificial intelligence will be more it's already more intelligent than us. That's not a question. I mean, literally, I have software that knows my voice, and I've only read to it twice for like 20 minutes total. And it can actually speak in my voice. And that's the scary part is it learns that fast. It learns the whole entire dialect without even hearing you say every word. Electric cars will not be efficient anytime in the future because the weight of gasoline per gallon, you get 32 or 33 kilowatt hours per gallon of gas. That's the energy in there. To get that same energy in a battery pack is ridiculous. Batteries freezing cold. Well, they reduce their energy components and they can't be charged once below a certain degree. But if you start pulling energy out of them, they do warm up quite quickly. So that's. But attack drones right now are not AI. They actually use people sitting inside of containers around the world, controlling those and piloting them, which is ridiculous. It's even worse than having drones. Sad. Sad fate of America. That's what happens. Thank you guys for being here with us tonight. I'm not going to stay on long. I will do some research on what's going on with the HIV stuff. And I'll probably have to just go live on Rumble about that. So when I do go live on Rumble, I'll go live on every platform and then say, everybody go to Rumble. Okay? God bless you guys. Stay strong. God bless America. Good night. Please donate.